Estate. I'm a real estate agent, coach, and investor. And every week we do a weekly workshop where we talk about a different topic in real estate to help you move your business forward. It's every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Consider this your invitation.
All right, so we talked about seller motivation. Now let's talk about how to do a CMA. All right, so CMA, what does CMA stand for? Something market analysis. Why am I?
Comparative market analysis. You're cracking me up today, Brittany.
I was just testing you.
Of course.
You got it right. You won, Michelle. Comparative market analysis. Okay, so thank you. A CMA, also known as our comps. We're pulling comps. A lot of times your sellers are going to know that language, the comps, rather than a CMA. And so what we're doing when we are pulling comps is we're finding properties with similar features. So if it's 4 bedrooms, we want to find other 4 bedrooms. If they have a pool, we want to find another that has a pool. If they have similar features, and you want to have it within a small radius, within about a mile radius, and actually even smaller, especially if you know that that's a specific tract, or like 1 block over is a whole different tract. You want to make it as small as you can. And you want to find houses that have closed within the last 3 to 6 months. The reason we're doing this is because this is what appraisers look for. This is what they're looking for, is they're looking for a small radius. They're looking for things that have closed in the last 3 to 6 months. Now, keep in mind, they're looking for things that have closed. They're not looking for things that are active on the market, because active on the market doesn't necessarily mean that's when they're going to sell. So they're looking for things that have closed. So when you're looking at your comps, this is what we're going to be looking at. So let me jump in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to reshare it with what we want to look at. Okay, so remember, I'm using a whole different MLS than you might be using. So don't go off of mine and how exactly I'm doing it. I just want you to get the basics. So I'm going to go to quick search here. And I'm going to do this pretty quick and easy because I want to show you just the basics here. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my area and, oops, I made the whole screen bigger. Don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to try and get a smaller area. Like I'm going to do this Silver Strand Beach area. So I'm going to, I have a few different ways that I can do this, either a rectangle, a circle, or a polygon. I'm going to just use a polygon. That's usually what I use. And I'm going to draw a little square around, or a shape around where I want that. So this, I'm telling it, I only want to see things in this area. Now I'm going to go to status. Right now it's already choosing active and coming soon. What I also want to see is closed. Now, for my own information, I might also want to see pending and active under contract. And you can see that this close date is automatically a year. I want to make that a shorter time. So if we're saying February of 2022, I want to make it, let's say August of 2022. So August of 2022 until today's date. So let's see, purchase contract date. That's going to, these are for the active and pending. So the close date is the only one I care about. So you can see now I have different colors on here. These are going to be what's closed versus what's active and what's pending. All right, property subtype. If I want to say, actually, I want it to be a single family because that's what mine is. I don't necessarily want to do a current price, just because I might, if I don't know the price or, something like that, I don't know where we're going to price it. I'm going to leave it at that. But what I do want to do is I want to say, okay, my subject property, it has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So I want to make sure that I want to only look at 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Now I can do that because look, I have a lot of listings here. If I had less listings, I would not want to do this so narrow, such a narrow search, because you could see that if we're saying, if nothing comes up, we need to extend the search. So we need to either go out more miles, or we need to go past that 3 to 6 months, maybe to a year. We need to extend it to say 4 bedrooms, even still, you know, whatever it is. So, but to start off, we want it to say, if I know my subject property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, I want to say that I want it to be 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And let's just make sure that there are still things that pop up, and there are still some things. So I'm going to leave it at that. Now, as far as lot size and all this kind of stuff, I'm not going to worry about this. And keep in mind, I chose a beach area, which is kind of dumb. Well, it's just silly for our purposes because, you know, because it's on the beach, if it's oceanfront, it's going to be a big difference than if it was 5 houses down. But that's okay. We're just doing this for, to give you a basic idea. If you were in like a tract home, it's much easier to say, okay, all of these are going to be about the same. But because we're at a beach, it's going to be a little bit different. And that's a really good way to know, okay, if we're closer to the ocean, that is going to be a higher price point. And that's in general. If any of you guys on your coastal and on the coastal regions, the closer you are to the ocean, even if it's 2 blocks closer, 2 miles closer, whatever, the closer you are to the ocean or to the beaches, the higher your price point is likely going to be. And that's something you really have to keep in mind when you're pricing your properties. All right, so now I'm going to go to, I can go here to CMA, and I'm just going to click on that. And there's this one line CMA that I'm going to pull.
Sorry, Brittany, to interrupt, but I think you put to 2022, so that's more than a year, the starting date, instead of 2023, February 27th. I mean, that's what I saw, but maybe I saw it wrong.
I think I put the starting date to be 2022 and the end date to be 2023.
Okay, but that's more than a year. And you said 6 months usually.
Right. I changed it to like August of 2022.
Oh, okay. So you did it on purpose. Okay. That's
Yeah. Just because I can't do that math in my head. I don't know how long 6 months ago was. So, thank you though. I'm glad you guys are checking up on me, making sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so now we have here in this one line CMA, we have active properties, pending, and then closed. And remember, the closed properties are the ones that matter the most. Now, because we narrowed our search, we don't have very many. I only have 2 on here, but it still gives us a good idea. So you can see these were built around the same time. The list price was for exactly, well, no, the original list price was for 2 different amounts. And look at the sold prices here. This original list price was for 1.1 million and it ended up selling for $1,080,000. This original list price was for 1.25 and it ended up selling for $950. And the days on market, this was on the market for 18 days. This was on the market for 24 days. So it's interesting to note, you can kind of see some, I mean, the more you do this, the more you start to see some trends. And what this tells me is that this was a motivated seller, because if they started at 1.25, that was probably too high. They ended up going down at some point to 1.1, and then they ended up closing at 970. That's a motivated seller. Somebody who's willing to go down from 1.2, that's $200,000 difference. And then this one was originally listed for 1.1, which is right at, almost right at where it closed at, $20,000 difference. That's a big difference from 200,000. So they listed lower, even though these are very similar properties. They listed lower. Now, again, I don't know exactly the location or anything. I can tell you that based on these addresses, they were not on the water, but you definitely can see the difference in motivation. So same kind of thing up here. This one is still active. And this one was originally listed for 1.17. now it's listed for 1,090,000 and it's been on the market for 140 days. This seller, not very motivated. They're just not. And that's what that tells you. Now this days on market versus a cumulative days on market, this says that they like changed their listing agreement or changed agents or something like that. So that's why it's different. And again, the original list price, 1.395. Now they've changed it. They're trying to be a little more competitive or something. They're starting to change the seller's motivation seems like it's changing. Same thing here, 53 days versus 62 days on the market. I don't know exactly what happened there, but we know that probably something changed in their list period. So they're probably starting to get a little bit more motivated. All right, so that's the one line CMA. A lot of people like to take this and use this as their CMA. I like to use a different one, and not all of you guys have access to this, so I'm not going to take a long time on this, but if I go to CMA, I can go to Cloud CMA.
Hey guys, we're going to jump back into the workshop in just a second. But first, if you're getting value out of this, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you get more videos just like this as soon as they come out. Don't forget to watch till the end for a special bonus. And one last thing before we jump back in, if you're interested in coaching and taking your business to the next level, we have a proven system that has worked with hundreds of agents to get them into production. We would love to help you. Schedule a call with me at the link below and let's connect. Now let's jump back into the workshop.
Now, I do believe that everybody has access to this through like NAR, but it is something that you might have to pay for. It might not be included. I don't know. I like it. It's included for me. Would I pay for it? Probably, depending on how much it costs. Because I do use it every single time because I like it. I like how it looks. And keep in mind that this is going to be for a specific type of person. So if you have a client who's more analytical, they're going to want to see that one line CMA. If you have somebody like me, who's a little more like, woo, I'm going to want to see pictures. I'm going to want to say like, okay, but how does that compare to my house? Has it been fully redone? Has it not been redone? You know, I want to see more than just the numbers. So this gives all of that. All right, I'm going to pull just a number that I have, a house that I have in my head. So the beauty of this too is that if you have a listing that hasn't gone for sale in a long time, you can still put this in and it'll pull up listings around it. So especially if you don't really know the area. So if you're like, okay, well, I have an address, but I don't really know where that is on the map. How am I supposed to narrow in on a 1 mile radius? I feel like I've gotten stuck there a lot where I'm like, okay, let me look on the map. Now let me go. It's this freeway and this freeway intersecting. It's a little bit further down. Okay, now let me go over here and try and figure that out. This eliminates all that for you. I'm going to say we want the quick and dirty, automatically find 10 listings, fetch listings. Now this one, I will tell you, this isn't a tract, so it is much easier to price and have as comparables. So we're going to take a look at this one. So now it's fetching the data. And we're going to see, now our subject property is 4 bedrooms. So I'm going to remove anything that was a 3 bedroom. And I'm going to just do quick and easy. So we have a few that are pending, and to have it be pending, it's good to know that they're pending, but we're not relying on that. What we're relying on are the closed properties. This one's on hold. I'm going to take it off because if it's on hold, we have no idea why it's on hold. We can call and find out, but the reality is it's probably not a very good comp for us. Okay, so you can see the summary here. The low is 682, the median is 812, average is 803, and the high is 925. So now I'm going to go to customize report. You can see actually the map too of where these all are. So you can see this is in a 1 mile radius. Okay, so I already have all this on here. Title page, summary of comparable properties. This is your one line. So if you are the type who likes a one line, or like for me, I gave myself as an example. I want to see photos. I want to see all that kind of stuff, but I also want to see it in a one line. I want to see what just the numbers are. Here's your one-line CMA. And so it has on here what our sold listings are, what the averages are, average square feet, average price, all of that kind of stuff. And then we have what's pending. Now it's important to make sure that your clients understand that what's pending doesn't necessarily mean it's going to close. So you don't want to focus on this. But what's interesting here is that we have two that are the same exact square footage, which probably means it's a model match. Look at the difference in the list price. One is $699,000, 700,000, and one is $810,000, $100,000 more. I do not know why that is because I haven't seen the photos, but I'm guessing one is much more ready to go. And the one that's lower is probably very motivated. All right, so now we can click on this and look at the details. So you can see some pictures and you can remove any of these pages. Oops, that's just a little bit. And then the photos would be a separate page. So you can see at a glance, all on one page. Okay, so they have wood floors, their kitchen is somewhat updated, they have stainless steel appliances, all that kind of stuff. And then it comes with all your agent branding, which is nice, and I like that. And then I have a contact me. So if I go to publish this report, I'm going to be able to, it's publishing. So let's let it think. There we go. View PDF. Okay. So now I have this PDF. I can save it. I can send it. You can't change this picture, and I don't really like this picture. So you can always remove this title page if you wanted to. Summary of comparable properties like we looked at. And then here are all of these properties. So it has this property and all its pictures. It has this property and all of the MLS data, and then photos. So you can see this one is not as updated as some of the others and that kind of thing. So you can really see this at a glance. Now, if this is too much, you can always go, and if you do like a print PDF or something like that, you can remove some of these pages because it is a lot. You don't need all this, or you can customize it to be what you want. Maybe you only want the top two photos or whatever. I like to have this just because I want to see what the, like I want to see at a glance, is it updated at all or is it not updated at all? Because from the exterior photos, you can't tell that. And so I want to make sure that I'm seeing, like this one has been updated. And so we're able to say, okay, that's why that was priced at that point. So let's see, let's go back. Okay. So when we're talking about the comps, we are talking about things within 1 mile radius that closed in the last 3 months. And what happens if nothing comes up? We extend the search. Well, we're always going to run into situations where it's like, okay, well, my subject property has this gorgeous view that nothing else has. We have one of the agents in our program has this issue right now where his listing has like these amazing views, and there are other properties below it that don't have the same kind of views, or across the street that don't have the same kind of views. That has a numeric value, but finding a price is more of an art than a science. There's no way that we can say to everybody, a view is going to be valued at $10,500 or $100,000. It also depends on the different price points. I just looked at a condo that had a gorgeous view, and of course that's going to be a higher dollar value in my mind, but it's not going to be as high of a dollar value as if it was a single family home with the same view. So, excuse me. So there's no way to say a pool gets you X amount more, another bedroom gets you X amount more. You always have to go and you have to look at what's selling. What are the buyers saying? Yes, I want to buy that. What is happening there? That's what you have to look at when you're trying to price something appropriately. So we're looking at seller motivation. We're trying to look at the CMAs, what have closed. And now we're going to be looking at the buyer competition. So buyer competition pricing, what this means is that we're really looking to see what are the buyers rejecting? what is currently listed that the buyers have rejected. If it's been on the market for more than 30 days, is it priced too high? Maybe the seller doesn't care. Maybe this is what their goal is. Maybe this is their strategy, whatever. We don't necessarily know that. But with us as the agent, we need to understand that oftentimes if something's on the market for more than 30 days, it is likely priced too high. That is the truth in almost every single market. So whether you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market, there's always going to be a price where something's going to go quick. Now, it depends on your seller motivation of what they care about, of where they want to price it, but there's always going to be a price point where things are selling. So what you want to do here is the idea is that a buyer is not looking in a 1 mile radius. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're like, I want this school, so I only want to look at things that are in this school district or in this. And even still, a school district is a bigger area than a 1 mile radius, than a neighborhood. So you want to take that into consideration. And what we want to do is we want to say, okay, seller. We want to talk to our seller and say, okay, seller, we're seeing houses in all of Oxnard, let's just say, that are selling for $750. What do those houses look like? Or if you're in Porter Ranch, they're selling for 1.2. What do those houses look like? Or if you're in Tulare, they're selling for $300,000. What do those houses look like? Whatever price point that you are determining, give or take a couple tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and say, okay, if I've determined that the seller's price should be $750, let's take a look at the whole city, or you determine that, the whole county, the whole whatever your buyers are going to be looking at, and say, what are they seeing for $750? If everything they're seeing for $750 is fully updated, is move-in ready, and your subject property is not, it needs to be updated, then that tells you, okay, we need to lower our price. Maybe we need to come in at $700. Maybe we need to come in at $640. Whatever that is, that's what we're looking at. We're not just comparing it to the price in your small little town. So that's when our CMA comes back to us, our MLS. Hold on, let me pull this down so I can see. I can't see still. Hold on. Hold, please. All right, so that's when we get back to our MLS and we're starting to say, okay, we've determined that our oops, I still can't see. Hold on. We've determined that our price should be $750. So let me turn this off. And now I don't necessarily care about the things that are closed, pending. Well, no, I do care about things that are pending, but I don't care about things that are closed. I do care about what's active and what's active under contract and pending. So I want to take a look at that. And I really know that if there is a buyer, they're really looking in a bigger area. So I want to just say all of this area. I want to see what's active and what's pending. Okay, so I want to say single family residence because that's what our subject property is. If it's a condo, if it's land, whatever it is, you want to do the same thing. And then current price, if we're saying $750, I want to see things from $650 to $800. Let's just say. Oops. Okay, and again, we want to see 3 bedrooms, 2 baths only. And if we can't find things for that, then we'll adjust this if we want. And let's go to the list. So now we're seeing things that are in our price range. And we can say, okay, this one is active under contract, 29 days on the market. That's kind of a long time, but maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe as the agent, I want to call and say, hey, why did it take so long? Because we want to be able to price ours right. So we can look at the photos again. We can say what is on the market for this price. Okay, this isn't super updated. Okay, great. That one looks like a fixer. So now this one is pending 750. Let's go back to the detail. How long was it on the market? Oh, only 6 days. It only was on the market for 6 days. So we can see that at 750, this home is selling fast. Okay, well, it's turnkey, move-in ready, updated. No, the buyer doesn't need to do anything. Is our subject property like that? If yes, okay, then 750 looks like a good price point. If no, then maybe we need to lower that price. Now let's look at this one, 650. Let's take a look. Oh, definitely a fixer. I like this. I should buy this. You guys know I like the ugly ones. Okay, so this one is under contract and it's been on the market for 29 days. This was a fixer, so it may have been something where they had somebody come on and then it fell out of escrow and then they had to put it back on, because 29 days seems like a long time for that, but it might have been listed a little bit too high. Again, you don't know what these are closing at. So let's go back to this list and really let's focus on just the active ones. So this one is 675. It's been on the market for 43 days. Let's take a look at the photos. Okay, so this one's updated. Interesting that it's been on the market for so long. Okay, well, the flooring has been updated, but the kitchen still needs a lot of work. So if a buyer walks into that and says, I'm going to need to put a lot of money into this, even though the flooring has been updated, it hasn't been updated throughout, because you can see that that has carpet. And this is not, these are not the best photos or anything like that. So that's also something to consider. So this one's been on the market for 43 days. And it's listed at 675. This is a good option for you when you're talking about the houses that the buyers have rejected. This is a house that the buyers have rejected. This is a house that needs a price reduction. And the reason for that is probably because of the kitchen. I'm just basing this on like first glance. I actually have no idea, but probably because of the kitchen. It needs a lot of work to be redone. Kitchens are expensive, and so you need to price it appropriately. Now it's priced, we saw that there was another one that sold in 6 days for $750. So it's priced $75,000 lower than that, and still it's having a hard time selling. So these are things to keep in mind when you are trying to price a property, and these are things that you want to bring to your client's attention. This might even be something that I pull up and I walk through on a listing appointment when we're trying to decide on a price. I'm going to be talking about here's what the buyers have rejected. But you have to know this going into it. You as the agent have to be equipped with all of this knowledge and all of this understanding to say, okay, this house is closer to the beach. This house is not. This house has been fully redone. Whatever. You need to have done your research. And this is the type of research that you want to do.
Well, I hope that helped. That was just a little sneak peek of our weekly workshops. Remember, you can join us live in our weekly workshops every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, where you can ask any questions you have and be there in real time. Click the link below to register for the next workshop. And if you want to dig deeper and grow your real estate business, click the link below and let's schedule a call to talk about coaching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you get more videos just like this as soon as they come out, and we'll see you in the next video.